Saddle up, it's time for Discord drama, where the threads are messy and the tea is hot. Get ready for the gossip, the chaos, and all the juicy details. This is Beyond the Map, and we're diving into the drama that's shaking up your server.
Welcome to Beyond the Map. On this episode, we take a deep dive into the Discord subject apples. Open your book to page 230 as we take a look at the Appalachian Footpath box map. Is that a bushel of apples?
What do apples have to do with the Appalachian Trail?
The clue might be the bucket/basket, not necessarily the fruit. Cooper? Oh, what is it?
Respectfully disagree. Don't think it's a bushel of apples. 120 apples in a bushel.
Apples are grown in all 14 of the states containing portions of the AT. So I'm not sure. In the U.S., Washington State produces the most apples. Some folks are looking for a Washington connection in the East along the at which are plentiful. Others are focused on searching for features, mountains, valleys, towns, whatever with apple or orchard in the name. And still others believe this is not at all an apple basket. I agree. But not everyone is of the same mind.
Respectfully disagree. Don't think it's a bushel of apples. 120 apples in a bushel. If I could make out just one apple stem, I'd rethink.
I'm half joking here, but could they be peaches? I think it's apples Georgia peaches. I don't feel like anyone has mentioned this, but again, I personally think it's apples.
Are they small apples or big apples?
Well, that would match the GA.
I gotta be the real odd one out here and say that they are chestnuts.
I'm going to take a long shot and go with everlasting gobstoppers.
The real ones are probably small in the woods. The maps looks plump.
Yep, I'm just going to stick with harvest.
When someone has the box in hand, we will know for sure. I'm not sure what good it does to continually shut down productive and creative thinking here. And, for the record, I think they're apples. But I don't make it a point to tell everyone else they are wrong. Maybe I'm the one that is wrong.
Totally agree with you. Yeah, his clues are just too generic.
Yup. Everything could be a generic representation.
What's in the container is indifferent to me.
Anyone else think the real map is on the borders?
There's a 5 above the apple basket. There might be 2 5s.
So, is the apple map's location bullshit?
I think the bushel of apples is the apple sign.
Ool didn't see the apple sign. Seems more likely.
The sign's location doesn't match the location on the map, though. Those apples are where the Homer Stone and Green Mountain trails connect.
I took the same picture of the apple sign. I think the symbols that make a circle need to be rotated to put the apples at the side.
But if 50-plus people have been out there already, I'd imagine someone would have said, "Oh, look, a scroll symbol," or "This is the apples," or whatever. Haven't seen any of that type of thing from Botki people yet.
I saw a sign about apple orchards. FWIW. I haven't bothered going back to look for apples because I wouldn't be able to tell an apple tree from a known apple tree unless it had apples on it. A lot of those symbols are head-scratchers.
What if the apples aren't a basket of apples, but rather peaches? Concur. I believe this trail starts in Tien near Gatlinburg, as I see the butterfly as Dollywood, the dog as the Vols mascot, the skiing as Ober-Gatlinburg, etc. The VT trail is compelling, but that would make the map compass upside down.
Yeah, I agree. The butterfly might be Dollywood if it's not in VT.
Japanese apples? On the border of the map, just to the right of the bear.
and the rocks, this might be confirmation bias, but today it dawned on me that the objects in the basket on the map are tomatoes. Tomato.
Peaches.
Yeah, I'm sticking with apples.
Or it's just representing harvest.
Cherries.
Harvest was my original thought. Helps line up shadow on compass.
Could be mushrooms. Mushroom blueberries. Poppies. Nuts.
Yep, someone else agrees. Now you're just playing catch-up.
Oranges.
Seems to look more like a bucket than a basket. Nice and shiny metal banding. Steel on top.
Only thing is, you would not pile up tomatoes in a big bunch 10 deep. Definitely would crush the ones on the bottom. They do look like tomato, but not a tomato press.
They're apples.
Who collects tomatoes in that kind of basket? The bottom ones get crushed. That's apples, or crab apples. But who collects crab apples? IDK.
Good old Johnny Appleseed hiked around a lot. Please don't let me go into that rabbit hole.
NT Adams, Apple.
I log on to see what I have missed all day, and we are still on the bushel of apples. Faced with rolling eyes, I have wondered if any of the graphics mean something less obvious, like bushel in the case of the apples, or slippery rocks in the case of the tottering bear by the rocks. But none of my searches along other lines have gotten me anywhere so far.
Apples. AP is short for Appalachian, and less is short for let's move on. LOL. JK.
Definitely a basket. It's a bushel of apple.
I'm so confused again. What are you all talking about?
So the butterfly isn't bigger than the bushel of apples in real life? Nerd face, but it might be bigger than dollhouse-size blueberry bucket. Which is it? Apples or blueberries?
I'm saying blueberries. There would be at least one random stem sticking out if apples, no?
Okay, point again, Adam. I'm going to put your finger right on the map, so just show our
Relating
trail.
the blueberries with all the blue references in the text.
Yes, absolutely.
Since everyone is so unsure, if it's an apple, is it possible that it's an Asian pear, which can be found in New Jersey? The Asian pear resembles the apple in size and shape.
Maybe the map are apples, and the book cover are peaches.
They left out the best kind of berries, LOL beginning with ADIAM going with the apple's red apple. The apple basket is the giveaway.
What if you think they aren't a fruit, but something else? Am I crazy?
What are you, AR, thinking? Thinking face.
Oh, apples! Case closed.
Some people are saying they are blueberries, but that is bogus.
There are more blueberry bushes along the trail than apple trees by a long shot, but that doesn't mean much by itself. It's the blue I'm keen on.
Chestnuts.
Sorry. Berries are picked by the flat, and a round bucket or basket would not make a good flat. It would be square, pines, or shallow box, or lasagna pan LOL. Nothing deep ER, or you'd make berry juice. In a neat picture for a food display, you might see berries in something round. But to show a field of berries, you'd show a flat or pints that go in a flat, not round.
That's a small metal bucket. The picture on the map is clearly a bushel basket.
Yes, it's a miniature bucket. Here, another miniature wooden bucket. They are part of the miniatures that are used in dollhouses. Magical worlds which bring much joy. How do we know for sure the size of anything on that map? Rolling on the floor laughing.
Oh, doll. She knows how make the good cherries.
Apple pie moonshine.
It hardly looks like a cherry in the George Washington chapter if it wasn't for the cherry on the tree. And the story of George Washington, I wouldn't say the little red fruit here is a cherry. I think of cherries with the stem, maybe 2 cherries together. Cherries, so JCB makes it clear that this is a cherry, even though it looks like an apple. Then we have the at map, and it looks exactly like this cherry in the George Washington chapter. But the basket looks like a bushel for apples, so we think apples. Vermont has a great fun tradition of apple picking in the fall. There's also cherries there. Washington has a connection too, especially if it cherries.
You think those are apples? Addo Trademark posted the fruit 15 days ago. It's in the book. Pretty clearly not apples. Apparently O is the only one in this chat that has said that fruit. I just searched the chat for the fruit name and it had only one mention in the context of the fruit basket.
I also think it's debatable apples or tomatoes, but I do think of them as apples.
Nah, it's not apples, nor tomatoes. There's a picture in one of the chapters in part 1 with that fruit in it. Bird's eye view of the fruit.
The one outside of basket would be the first tomatoes to look like a red delicious, and a peach has that butt cheek look. And just have gone apple.
Do you have part 1 of the book?
I'm not sure why you're being so secretive about it. For those who don't have part 1, there is a picture of a cherry tree in a chapter about George Washington. The basket would have to be very small for the fruit to be cherries.
Giant cherries or tiny bushel basket rolling on the floor laughing?
Someone in the other Discord thinks the box is at Mount Washington, so cherries would fit with that solve. It just surely doesn't look like cherries to me.
We shall remember the great cherry versus apple debate when it's found. Olive versus pickle 2.0.
The good news is if a consensus is reached, say apples, then we will be able to debate the variety. I think Granny Smith, but I could see the argument for Fuji. Team Golden Delicious is delusional though.
New fruit, unlocked cranberries. That's over in the other Discord. It's an alpine fruit and Min Washington has them.
It just means orchard and not any particular fruit. So says my opinion minion.
I feel like you don't stack tomatoes that high, so I'm not sure why PPL still say it's tomatoes LOL.
It is more important than what is in it. Dr. James Naismith.
I think the red ball off to the left side isn't fruit. I think it is the planet Mars sea volcano. Because the chapter is about George Washington, Commander-in-Chief, and talks about his experiences as a soldier and general. The god of war is Mars in Roman mythology or Ares in Greek mythology. Later, when you find another 4 letters to go along with VBHT in the lower left corner of the illustration of the cherry tree, you will use the Vijna key that turns VBHT into Ares with the other 4 letters to open up more clues.
Wow. That's super interesting if true.
Linking the apple basket to the NC Tar Heels in the upper left corner.
Interesting. I'm listening.
He said it was somewhere along the Appalachian Trail. I truly don't think it's on it.
Yeah, I was in a similar place next to the triangle. On that cover in the red is the bushel of apples. It got me thinking, maybe the apples are somehow related to the Japanese puzzle boxes, and now I'm going through every page of the book, looking for other images from the map, to see if they connect to other chapters/phrases.
I log on to see what I have missed all day, and we are still on the bushel. Oh, no! Faced with rolling eyes, I have wondered if any of the graphics mean something less obvious, like bushel in the case of the apples, or slippery rocks in the case of the tottering bear by the rocks. But none of my searches along other lines have gotten me anywhere so far.
Apples. AP is short for Appalachian, and less is short for let's move on. LOL JKJK.
Could the dog actually be a border collie, as in representing that
there's a state border in that area. By that logic, the bushel of apples could represent something else, like a weaving path basket. The scroll could be a tunnel, and so on.
Bushels of apples? Maybe reference to Chapter 1? The picture of Scotty has a scalar can.
Are there any mountain laurel shrubs on the VT? Bushel could be bush L or bush laurel.
Vermont is not known for laurels.
I'm confused by all the little pictures. Anne, like a bushel of apples. Anne, the dog. Skiers. Or there's a T at the bottom.
Searching for a whisper in the pines. Mystery lurks in the shadow of the oaks. Legacy of treasure buried in lines. Legends wrapped in nature's unspoken jokes. Footprints fade in the morning dew. Gold hides beneath moss and vine. Legends lead to fortunes anew. In the breast of mountains standing fine. Beyond the map, where secrets lie, hearts race beneath the endless sky. Riches wait, where all goes sigh. Adventurers take the leap and fly, fly, echoes of yore weave the tale. Forest fence whispers still alive. Once a dream, now a winding trail. New quests on the horizon arrive. Stars guide the restless hearts, following the call of ancient charts. Whispers lead for those who start to chase the dream with insatiable smarts. Beyond the map, where secrets lie, hearts race beneath the endless sky. Riches wait, where old goes sigh. Adventurers take the leap and fly. Beyond the map, where secrets lie, hearts race beneath the endless sky. Riches wait, where old goes sigh. Adventurers take the leap and fly, fly. Stars guide the restless hearts, following